Hey, this is Glendon with Making Money with Storage Unit Auctions, and it happened. A newbie got a killer unit. You've seen it, you already heard the gold doubloons, and literally a pirate's treasure chest of gold. Now, we all know what's about to happen. Yep, that's the herd of people who are now going to come out to storage auctions. People around the country that I talk to and interact with, the crowds for kind of dropping or holding steady. It's about to go out the window because everybody's going to be super curious. Now, before you start panicking, before you start shaking, understand 90-something% of the people coming out are not going to bid. They're curious. They're going to be looking for the clean units, the good units, the nice units. If you watch this channel, I've said it before, I've said it many times. You can get great units anywhere. Some of the best units I've bought, if you look at my videos, sticky units will make you money. They're going to avoid this stuff. There's a lot of units they're going to avoid because they're looking for the big hit, the home run unit, the gold doubloons. That's what they're going to be looking for. So if you've been following this channel, you've been following me for the last 2 years, you know that to do this business properly, you need to learn how to sell anything and make money with anything. So just calm down, and at least you know what's about to happen. So you can prepare yourself. And I'm just going to make it plain. People who are not trying to scale up their business in this space, it's going to be very challenging. It's going to be very difficult. When I say scale up, I'm not talking about get a storefront, but I'm talking about actually get out to the game where you're a consistent buyer and you're consistently buying and selling. You're not going to be able to make it because you're going to get blown out of the water by the crowd, because this is how it was explained to me. Because it was different when I was out there. New people would show up, we would blow them out the water and run them off. It was like that, real simple. But now that the cat is literally out of the bag and people are like, whoa, there's really good stuff up there. Last week, a guy up in Manassas, Virginia bought a unit, paid $27,000 for it. But based on the bidding, there was some inside information that was leaked because normally a unit wouldn't have went for that much. But, on when it's all said and done, he's looking at well over $100,000 worth of stuff in the units. This is starting to happen. And what did I tell you when you watched this channel? I got great units, killer units, when the economy was great. So understand, why are you getting all mad and going, he's like, oh man, it's about to be bad, it's going to be really hard. Take heart, my friends. Yes, there's going to be a lot of people out there. Yes, there's going to be a lot more competition, but there's going to be more units than ever before. Let me walk you down my train of thought. The economy is not getting better. The foreclosure crisis is still going on. Those two things right there are going to prompt probably a bumper crop in storage units being auctioned off next year. The FDC, not the FDC, but the FHA has told these banks that, hey, all that bad paper you got, because there were, you ever heard the story like someone's been in foreclosure for 9 months, 2 years? A lot of these banks would not complete the foreclosure process because if they didn't, they didn't have to put that bad debt on their books. But the FHA and some other organizations saying, look, you need to do that. So you're going to see a lot more activity in that space too. And it's a good thing. And I'm not saying it's a good thing for people to lose their homes or to be ass out. But for this economy to get better, we have got to go through all of this pain. And there's a lot of this pain that's been kind of held back because institutions like banks have been like, oh, we don't really want to do it because it's going to affect our bottom line. And we don't want that bad paper on our books. But it has to happen. We're not going to get any better as a country until we go through all this pain and get this stuff out of our system. With that, resale business is going to be hot. People have always liked the deal, always wanted to get a great deal on something. It's become a situation where people are going to have a great deal to make it. They're going to have it's not going to be optional. You're going to have these type of deals in your life because of your budget, because there's a whole group of people that can't find jobs, just can't find them. I'm talking about educated people, people with large skill bases. This new economy is just slapping people upside the head. So understand, if you're going to do this, you need to get into it now. If you're going to do this, understand, this ain't romper room, this ain't playtime. If you're going to do it, you need to treat it as a serious business and start doing the things you want to do to properly grow your business. Because for many years, when I was in the business, a lot of people are like, wow, you're doing pretty good for a newcomer. I treated that shit like a business from day one. Many people, it was just a hobby. You can't find anything good in there. And everyone that told me that stuff never bought more than 30 units. Because I started looking at the metrics, because there was a group of people, every auction, buying shit. Every time I turned around, they was buying something. They was always buying something. And it kind of hit me in my head. Unless they have an alternative source of income, and some did, they're making money from this, and they're making a lot of money because they continue to do this month in, month out. At that point, that's what I was looking at. And I've said it a million times. I'm going to say it again. The more you buy, the luckier you become. And understand, just like what this happened with John in San Jose, with the Pirates goal, there's some stuff out there that's percolating that's about to come on the auction block. People have been trying to save this stuff or something going on. It's about to pop. 2012 is going to be ridiculous. Here it is, November. You got 6 weeks to get your game plan together, and for those of you who are really industrious, this is going to be a really prime time to buy in these next few weeks, because next year, it's going to be off the chain, and it has nothing to do with the shows. Every year tax season comes up, a slew of new people come out with their fat little wallets of tax money, and they want to buy some shit. That happens year in and year out. So it was going to be bad whether there was any shows or not on or not. So just understand, this is going to be really, really interesting. Really, really, really interesting. So I know a lot of folks are going up there, but hey, this is the time for you to make the decision. Am I going to do this with a great deal of energy and enthusiasm, or I'm just going to sit on the sidelines and watch other people? You've got to make that decision. You have to make that decision. I'm telling you that right now. This whole, well, I'm kind of in, I'm kind of out, it's not going to work. And even with the increased competition and the reduced margins, because when you pay more for a unit, your margins are reduced, there's still a lot of money to be made in this game, because most people don't do it right. I am still looking at these emails from people watching the shows and thinking that's how it is. The shows show you maybe 5% of the business. 5%. I haven't seen anyone go to the dump. I haven't seen anyone find a maggot, a roach, a snake, or I haven't even seen a spider. This is stuff that you're going to encounter when you buy these units. I haven't seen anyone talk about mold. Open up a microwave and see some petrified chicken up there looking like a fossil. There's so many things that go on in this business that have yet to be shown. They may be in the second seasons, I don't know. And understand, I ain't hating on the shows because I like Storage Wars. Barry cracks me up. But this is the deal. You gotta man up or woman up, because it's about to be an inferno. Total inferno. And that is one of the reasons that I've been working with people for the last few months on how to develop alternative methods on how to combat this. I've said it in videos months ago. It's like, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. I get a lot of information that I cannot share with you on YouTube because of contractual agreements. But I can say this. 2012, you're going to see more trash to cash television than you've ever seen in your life. And with this recent find, there are people, probably studio executives, so I'm not talking about anything I know, just assuming here, who are like, oh shit, we're going to do this now. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. And you can beat this if you have a plan and you treat it as a business, because most people do not. That was how I was able to get over on the folks here in Georgia. In 2003, 2004, there was maybe 2 other people using Craigslist to liquidate stuff like I was. And one guy was like, oh, you know about Craigslist? Shh, don't tell him. Fuck it up for everybody. Because seriously, Craigslist was humming back then. I've unloaded a 10 by 20 and 90% of the contents in 4 days because of Craigslist. That's how strong Craigslist is. So understand, if you want to do the business, you need to make a decision right now. And this is not a call to action for you to buy my book. This is a call for action in life. Because if you wait another year and you try to get in this business this time next year, it's going to be very hard for you. Because one of the things about getting in the business early, and hey, I'll give you an example. Look at me. When I started this YouTube channel, it took me, at first it took me a month to get 100 views. I put up a video, I'll get that in an hour now. You know, it takes time to build. You know, because people are like, oh, you got all these subscribers and all this stuff. It wasn't like that from day one. I had a few, and for you folks who stuck around, I want to say thanks. I had like 30, 40 subscribers for like, 4 or 5 months. And, you know, it takes time to build some things. You got to get your reps in. You got to go out there and do it. Because I have a lot of people who have started businesses, who've started stores, who are doing okay to great, based on the stuff that they bought from me or taking the webinar. And I'm gonna tell you, you know, there's a whole bunch of and a lot of men watch this channel because the demographics is like 90% men. And there's a lot of guys who are like, he figured it out, I can figure that out. You ain't me. I'm telling you, I finally figured this out because of having all of those businesses that failed. It put me in a position where I looked at the business very differently than most people. And I still do, because I'm looking at stuff and I'm reading blogs and I'm laughing my ass off. I'm like, that shit's not going to work. But it's written by somebody that got some information from someone who got some information from someone. If you've never bought a really bad unit, you're not going to really know how to set a person off on this business. You need to buy an absolutely deplorable, soul-crushing, depressing unit that you want to cry when you take that stuff to the dump. That is your education. When you get the great units, that's not your education. It's easy to sell beautiful and nice stuff. Your real education is when you can make gold out of dirt. That's the truth. And that's what I had to do, because these fools down here ran the shit out of me for months. It was ridiculous. I was like, man, I don't even know these people. And every time I turn around, they all up in my ass. It's business. And business just became more complicated than any relationship on Facebook. This is going to be off the chain. And I'm just sitting here thinking, how did this happen? I'm going to tell you, when I wrote that book, I thought I was just going to sell to a very small niche group, go to my poetry stuff, go to my erotica stuff, and this thing is just blew the hell up. It's just become phenomenal, the opportunities that present themselves. And it's still a great business, and I still miss going through other people's trash. So for you folks who hook me up every now and then, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, because I like looking through the boxes. I'm sorry, the boxes speak to me. But that's the deal. Take action and make a decision. Because there's a lot of people who are kind of on the sidelines, they're thinking, hey, I'm going to do this. And I'm like I said, right now, I've changed a lot of things. Like in the webinar, you know, the people are very happy with the webinar because I'm putting out some information, because I made the decision I'm not getting back in the business. Which means all that stuff that I held back, because, I mean, come on. The book was great, but it didn't have everything I did in there, because if I was going to get back in the business, I couldn't give you all my secrets and have you like slapping me upside the head with my own shit. Come on now. But since I made that decision, this is where I'm going to stay. What's coming in the webinar, and is very robust and very effective. And some of it's going to be highly controversial, so you may not want to do it. It's on you. But I'm going to put it in there anyway. But that's the deal. Know that the world is not over. The sky is not falling. And as Darwin said, the strongest will survive. All right, this is Glendon. We're making money with storage unit auctions.